What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Sports to the Wire. For those of you who are actually to the channel, I am your host, Rashid White, and it's my boy, Barrick Burrell, my co-host.
What's going on?
All right,
great to see everybody.
As everyone can actually see with the title there, is Steve Nash going to cost the Brooklyn Nets a championship this year, and maybe for the future if he actually stays on as coach? So there's a lot of people that I'm reading on the Facebook forums there. I mean, a lot of people think that Steve Nash is an issue, and we're gonna go over game one over here, man. So this is stuff that Steve Nash, I don't know if this is his coaching philosophies or not, but I mean, I got some notes that I took from watching the game, and here we go right over here. Not getting into the offense quick enough, so there's a lot of holding the basketball, and against the defense like Boston, you gotta move the basketball, man. You cannot hold it for like 4 or 5 seconds, and you gotta get into the offense much quicker. So not enough ball movement. You got no east-west basketball, completely north-south, and against a team like Boston, I mean, that's going to be really easy for them. We're taking too many contested threes. Listen, Boston has athletic players that can guard the three. If they're running at you, especially like Steph Curry, Patty Mills, as soon as they close out on you, put the ball on the floor, one dribble, pull up. That will actually, if you start making that on a consistent basis, that'll actually bring the big man out, and which can open up some, driving lanes, or actually cutting lanes there. So, but Bear, I talked enough. You get into it, man. I'm gonna finish my rant in a minute, though. Go ahead.
Go finish your rant,
man. I mean,
well, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Final score 115-114. Boston takes game one, Eastern Conference first round playoff series. That I feel like it's gonna go 7 games. Today's game had 4, maybe 5 different ways and how you can determine who could have won this game and who didn't, who could have took over the game. But, we could talk so much about how, Kyrie wasn't nowhere to be found in a sense early in the game. You could talk about, the 9 for 25 shooting from Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the box scores. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, you can talk about all this stuff. You can talk about, where was Steph Curry? You can talk about a lot of things, why there weren't any adjustments made in the first half when KD get the ball coming off the screen. 3 Celtics was coming to conversion on him, and
he's not passing it. I'm like, come on, man. Kevin Durant has high basketball IQ.
Right, but Kevin Durant does. He's a basketball savant in many cases, man, and he's a killer assassin. He can score from anywhere on the floor. But the Boston Celtics found a way to try to see if they can get in the way of the passing lanes, challenge the passing lanes, challenge his ability to see the basket free, and then basically put him in a position where was the open man? Sometimes you can't just stand in the corner. Sometimes you see your guy cornered up, you got to come out to the ball. And that's a lot of things I didn't see Brooklyn do in the first half. No one was coming to the ball, So I understand KD's all world and he can do magic with the basketball, but he is human after all. So he's in a situation like that. You need to come out there and come get the ball. Steph, Curry, come get the ball, make some shots. Brown, come get the ball, make some shots. And that wasn't happening in the first half.
I think this with Steve Nash is like he's so. I can't believe this is his actual offense. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just Kevin Durant. I mean, that works against certain teams, but like with Boston, you cannot do that. And then you look at Andre Drummond. I mean, dude. You got 2-3 people around you. Pass the effing basketball, man. And that's the thing that kind of worried me about Andre Drummond, Barrick.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be trying. He's up for a contract. I think he's going to try to do too much in a sense, though, to try to show that, hey, I can actually play. I'm worthy of a contract, and he's not looking for like a minimum deal. He's looking for like maybe like 8, 9, 10 million per.
Right.
He's gonna try to go out there and try to do too much in a sense, and he turns the ball over a lot, and then he had some silly fouls, 4 fouls in the first half. I mean, come on,
yeah, absolutely, and I mean that in itself provides you as to why Steve Nash was hired in the first place. this was Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving signing on this. This was the guy they wanted to come in here and basically say, we know we can win anything with any coach, but we want Steve Nash to be that guy. Steve Nash, who basically has no head coaching experience whatsoever, has no playoff head coaching experience whatsoever. Yet there you were on the cusp of winning the first game because of the simple fact that the two players that are obviously difficult to cover, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, were the ones that was basically scoring the ball. Outside of that, Clarkson and Dragic was the only other points you had. Between the two of them, that was 27 points. Outside of that, where was the scoring coming from? And yet there you were with a chance to win.
I like this from Dragic. He was a plus 17, and he gave them some really, really good minutes. And remember, like I was telling you, I know this is not the Dragic of old, but I mean, he actually was the one that really carried that Miami Heat team to, in the bubble. I know everybody want to give, everybody's going to say, "Oh, that's not a real championship run," but whatever. He was the main piece.
Well, Miami was strong that year. Miami was strong. Now I wanted to point something else out that I thought was a glaring situation. Points in the paint. I mean, Boston had them 56-32, and the reason why they were playing high screen is playing a rubber zone up top, and that's why they were doubling up and tripling up on Kyrie and Kevin Durant. But where was the back door? Where was the guys moving without the basketball? We didn't see any of that going in the first half.
Yeah, I actually even defended the 3-point line. I mean, guys like Marcus Smart, man, he was wide open, and he had 4 threes, 4 for 9. I'm like, hey, Kevin Durant. I mean, Marcus Smart cannot be out shooting you. Now, Kevin Durant was actually 1 for 5 for 3. Marcus Smart actually shot better than you. And you're arguably one of the greatest shooters. I mean, you can argue that Kevin Durant is actually probably one of the greatest shooters in NBA history, in a sense, though. It's arguable.
And then you have to look at the way the game concluded with the 48 seconds that were remaining. You allowed Brown to score quickly, and you had the entire 24 seconds clock on your final possession, on speaking of Brooklyn, and the ball just went to two players. It went to Kyrie, it went to Kevin to Kyrie, and all Boston did was double and triple team on the zone coverage and forced the bad shot by Kevin, got the rebound, got down the floor, and now Brooklyn defended extremely well. They defended extremely well on that last defensive series, but Boston made the extra passes and found a cutting Tatum who came to the ball, got the layup and won the game. And this is why I'm saying, why did Brooklyn do that? Come to the ball. Come to the ball. Don't just sit there and watch. So these are things that I look at and I say, yeah, it's a little upsetting. Brooklyn could have easily won game one, even with the fact that you have 4 players scoring, your 2 top players, and of course the 2 bench players, Clarkson and Dragic. Outside of that, you still had a shot to win. But you got to make your free throws. You got to get those stops, and they got to stop in near the end. But that last offensive possession, this is where you want to come back and say, you know what, Steve Nash, maybe we should have called a timeout during that last possession. No, you let the whole possession play out, and you allowed Kevin and Kyrie to do their magic, finding ways to find a space on the floor to get an open look at the basket, which never came. Maybe you should have called a timeout.
This is one of the things. This is one of the things that was kind of bothering me during the game. There's a lot of times where Al Horford and Steph Curry got switched on to each other on offense, on the defense end. Now, when Steph Curry got switched on to Al Horford made Steph Curry pay. Vice versa. I mean, you gotta win that matchup right there, man. I mean, come on, you gotta exploit that. If you're running a set offense, fine, but when you got a mismatch like that, when you got a small and a big, you gotta take advantage of that, man. What do you think?
Well, yeah, you get that matchup must be taken advantage of. If you don't do that, it's a wasted opportunity. Simple as that. But you know what? You have 2 days off between games 1 and game 2, where the next game is going to be on Wednesday. If you're Steve Nash, and I know he's getting a lot of bad press, but if you're Steve Nash, you want to make those adjustments, and you have to know when to call timeouts. If you see your offense in a bind, especially with the game on the line, you have to say, you know what, I have a timeout remaining. Let me call that timeout. Let's get reset and get a positive play where we can get our guys open and get a better look at the basket. You did not do that on that last possession. That in itself, missing free throws, that's so big. But that in itself is an indictment against Steve Nash. Yes, it's his first playoff game. You just don't have the.
He was there last year.
Right, but you don't have the latitude right now to get over
this. Yeah, this year you're saying, right? Yeah.
This year, that's right. This year, yeah. Yep. So you have to make those adjustments, and hopefully Steve Nash, I'm sure he will. He's got a lot of good people around him. They'll make the adjustments next time, and it will be next time. This series is going to be gut-wrenching, man. It's going to be a lot of last-second shots. You're just going to have to make the right decision in the end.
All right, we'll wrap this video up. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, certainly share this video. When you share, the universe certainly shares back with you. Peace.
That's right. Peace.